Hey everybody, what's up? I am on my way home from church and I gotta go to work in about 3.5 hours. 2.5 hours. And anyway, I just wanted to make a quick video. I'm doing this series about for new shoppers because they don't really give you a lot of information before you start Instacart shopping, and I just think it would be helpful for you guys to have a little bit more information so that you can be successful in your endeavors as an Instacart shopper. And what I wanted to talk about today, and I think this one is going to be quick, all right? I've been making these long videos and it's just so much information, but this one I just wanted to be really quick. And what I want to talk about today is shopping multiple orders, okay? There comes a time in the life of every Instacart shopper when you will receive your first double or triple order. And for some people, it might be a little scary to try to shop for multiple customers at one time, particularly if the orders are a pretty good size, okay? If it's 2 small orders or 3 small orders, it might not be that big of a deal, but sometimes they will batch multiple large orders together, and it can be a little bit confusing and a little bit stressful if you're not familiar with some of the ways that you can minimize the confusion while you're doing that. So first things first, your shopping cart, all right? So what I like to do if I have a double order is I will look and see the size of each order, all right? So if I have one large one and one small one, I will take a regular grocery cart and I will put one of the handheld grocery carts inside of it towards the little part where the kids sit, all right? So for the smaller order, I'll put all the items in the kids seat along with that basket, okay? And then for the rest of it, I will put it in the larger part of the cart and or underneath the cart, okay? That doesn't always work because sometimes even though an order might be smaller, it might have items that are larger. So you're gonna have to look, and that's again why I said I like to look through the whole list just to see really what I have and what I'm working with. So, but generally you'll be able to take the smaller order and put it in the smaller cart, okay? Sometimes I may also, if I have 2 orders that are about the same size, I will take 2 of the handheld carts and put them underneath the grocery cart, and then I'll put one order inside the grocery cart, and then the other order inside the 2 small handheld carts that are underneath the shopping cart. All right, so that's what I do if I have if I have a double, okay, with a large and a small, or a double with 2 that are about the same size. Now if you have a triple, most of the time when they send you a triple, one of them will be really small, so you can just use the part where the kid sits and then put another grocery cart inside and then put one underneath, all right? They also sell these cart dividers. I've never used them. I've been meaning to purchase one or thinking about purchasing one, but I just have not ever gotten around to it. But they do have grocery cart dividers or separators that might be helpful. I don't know, so it might be something that you might want to look into. So when I scan an item, I always check to make sure that I put it in the right section, whether it's A, B, or C, all right? Order A, order B, or order C. That's important because sometimes you might start scanning, and you're not paying attention to what order it goes, and then you might have to go back and check it, which I do that periodically throughout my shopping. I might stop if I have a double or a triple just to make sure that I'm putting everything in the right compartment, so that once I get to checkout, everything is already separated for me. All right, when you scan an item, if you have a double or a triple, at the very bottom it will flash what, like right after you scan it, it'll flash whether it's order A, B, or C. And so usually when I scan something, I just take a quick peek down at the bottom of the screen, and it'll tell me right after you scan it, it'll tell you where to go, just to make sure that I put it in the right place. I have heard some shoppers say that they just shop the order and separate at the end. I don't see how they do that, especially if the orders are large. It would seem to me as though that would be extremely time consuming, as opposed to just keeping the items separate while you do your shopping. Okay, so generally what I'll do is I will, after I shop all the items and I hit all the green buttons to finish the checkout process, right? So I complete the checkout process in the app, but I have not gone to the register and completed the actual checkout process, but I completed in the app. And then I will go and I will check to make sure that all my items are in the appropriate compartment. How you can do that is if you hit the I button in the top right corner of your screen, it will show all of your orders, and it will say see items. And when you hit see items, it'll give you a list of all the items that go to that particular order. So before I get to the checkout counter and start putting my items on the belt, I check to make sure that I have placed everything in the right compartment in my cart, so that as I take them out and put them onto the belt, I can keep everything separate. Okay, now once you do that, of course they're going to ring it up. Now when you go to bag multiple orders, you can have one order bagged in plastic, one order bagged in paper, and if you have a triple, you can do one in plastic, one in paper, and one in plastic, but have them tie the top. Okay, if you tell someone to tie the top of a grocery bag, 9 times out of 10 they're going to tie it twice, and it's going to be a knot. All right, and then you're gonna have to take the time to untie all those knots. So when I tell the people, the cashiers and the baggers, to tie the bag, I politely say, just with one tie please, or one knot please, because I don't like to give people groceries that have a knot in the bag, because they're probably like, why is the bag tied like this? But anyway, so I untie the bag before I give it to the customer, but I try to make sure that the baggers just tie it once, so that I'm not taking 10 minutes to untie knots that they have put into the grocery bags. Another thing is putting them in different places in your vehicle. Okay, you may want to put some in the trunk, one order in the trunk, one order in the back seat, one order in the front seat. That might be another way for you to separate it. Be very careful, especially if you have a large order. If you have a large order, the kind baggers at the local Publix, they want to help you. And they want to help you to load your vehicle with the groceries. And I really appreciate that help. But make sure that if you want them to do something specific, make sure that you tell them. And usually, just because it just makes it easier for me, if I have whatever order goes in the trunk, I will have them unload that one and put it in the trunk. And if I want to put some of the groceries in the back seat or some of the groceries in the front seat, I'll do that myself. That way they don't have to go all in my car. They just are in the trunk. Then once they finish that, I'll go back to the trunk and make sure everything is placed in the bags, the insulated bags, because I just rather do certain things myself, just because I just want to make sure it gets done properly. That's just the way I handle it. Again, once I get to the first customer A, generally another thing is whichever one I'm dropping off first, I'll put that one in the trunk, because it's not going to be back there as long, because it can get pretty hot back there. So if one is being dropped off first, I'll put that one in the trunk, and the ones that I have to drive around longer, I'll put them in the main part of the car with me where the AC is. Okay, that's just another thing that I do. I was gonna say something. Ooh, they're just running over the barricades with their truck. What else? Oh, once I get to the customer's house, I check the items again. I just like to be sure, because like I mentioned in my last video, there has been a time when I got bags mixed up or gotten, yes me, okay, I have made mistakes, all right? I've gotten people's items mixed up. Now, there have been a few times where I caught it and I did go back to deliver it. You don't have to do that, I guess, but if I just left the person's house and I'm not that far away and I notice an item in my trunk, I'll just go take it to them. Number one, I don't want it in my trunk. Number two, I'm sure they'll appreciate having whatever their item was. Now, if it's something that I did earlier in the day and I noticed it later on, then of course I don't worry about it. But if I just dropped it off, then I'll go back and take it to them.